Against all the odds, Arsenal are fighting for the title. A return to the Champions League seems inevitable, so today let's find out about Arsenal's potential centre-forward signings, as well as getting a massive update on the fitness of William Saliba. We'll discuss Arsenal's newest academy star and get a look into the new kits going into next season. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and I hope you guys are doing sensational as we enter the final stretch of the season. And as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and help your boy on his road to 200,000 subscribers. But starting off with the latest Arsenal news. Arsenal fullback Nuno Tavares is currently on loan at Marseille. 23 years of age, he has made 21 starts and scored an impressive 6 goals from wingback. Tavares has a fantastic physical profile and has a lovely burst of pace, and he causes a lot of issues, but as Arsenal fans found out last season, he can also be very inconsistent, and recently we've seen that for Marseille, from 7 out of 10 performances to 5 out of 10s, stinkers to masterclasses. Tavares has been unreliable and the Marseille fans are unforgiving, and it seems like Tavares' mentality has fallen off. The breaking news coming out of France is that Nuno Tavares was kicked out of a training session by Marseille manager Igor Tudor last week, as the player was not given the commitment required and was not making efforts. Arsenal fans know this too well. This guy has all of the attributes but doesn't have the mentality as things stands. He is still a pretty young player, but as an Arsenal team that are fighting for a title and trying to progress next season, Mikel Arteta has built a squad full of mentality monsters. He has created an environment of top professionals. Even though Tavares has the potential, there still seems to be a little bit immaturity. In terms of his Arsenal future, according to Fabrizio Romano, no decision has been made on Nuno Tavares yet, and it will be discussed in May or June with his agents. But it's not just about the mentality, but also in terms of player profile. Arsenal have evolved as a team and Mikel Arteta has gone fully inverted. The arrival of Alexander Zinchenko has been a game changer, and as Mikel Arteta says, it started when I was at Barcelona and we played a 3-4-3 diamond, and one of the fullbacks used to play there. Pep did it for the first time at Bayern Munich with Lahm, and that was developed at City with different players. Arsenal's inverted fullbacks have taken us to a new level. We are now able to dominate games and assert our authority, because Zinchenko is not playing as a fullback. This guy has the influence of a midfielder. Make no mistake, fullbacks are a very important part of Mikel Arteta's system, and Arsenal are targeting a fullback out of Spain. Real Valladolid's 18-year-old Ivan Fresneda, who's recently been speaking on links to Arsenal, Juventus and Borussia Dortmund last January. He says, "I'm proud, but I always say it, I'm also at a big club at Valladolid." And when asked on if him currently learning English and German has to do with potential moves away, he says, "I've always valued studies with a view of a future beyond football. I am a person who likes to learn languages." In football, there aren't any coincidences. It's almost certain that he's going to leave Valladolid in the summer, and Arsenal, Borussia Dortmund are two of the leading clubs for his signature. He is still so young at 18 years of age and definitely very raw, but I see the potential. This guy wins a fair amount of his ground duels, and as you guys know, Mikel Arteta loves his duel winners. With him being so young, he wouldn't start straight away, but it would allow Mikel Arteta time to mold him into the perfect inverted fullback, and also a bit of freedom to move other players about, especially in the case of Takehiro Tomiyasu. As Mikel Arteta has said in the past, when we followed the player, it was one of the things that I came across, and it gives you a lot of solutions. He can use both feet. He can play as a right centre back, left back. That gives you enormous variability. Tomiyasu is a Swiss Army knife of this Arsenal squad. Him not being available until the end of the season is a massive blow, because if he was available, we could have played Ben White and Tomiyasu in the same team and survived better without William Saliba. But what about central midfield? With Mikel Arteta looking to evolve the left side, they might be targeting Turkish international Orkan Kokcu of Feyenoord. According to reports in the UK, Arsenal and Leicester are among the clubs that have been tracking Orkan Kokcu for quite some time. Brighton have now joined the race due to speculation over the futures of McAllister and Caicedo. He would cost around £30 million. 22 years of age and thriving in the Eredivisie, this year with 8 goals and 1 assist. As his heat map shows, this guy plays all across midfield, but tends to favour the left-hand side. And don't be fooled by him only having 1 assist this season, averaging 2.8 key passes per game. The year before he had 9 assists, as well as 7 goals. Kokcu is a fantastic creative player. It's not the first time that he's been linked with a move to the Emirates Stadium, and back in 2020, it was even reported as a potential replacement for Mesut Ozil. He's only going to have 2 years left on his contract in the summer, and there's a reason why so many clubs want to sign him. This guy is ambidextrous, comfortable on both feet, and Mikel Arteta likes players like that, the likes of Trossard, the likes of Tomiyasu. It makes Kokcu a very interesting player in the final third because he can open up different angles, and Arsenal fans have seen midfielders in the past able to play with both feet, and the prime example was Santi Cazorla. But Arsenal also have other midfield targets, and one of those is Gabri Veiga Liga of Celta Vigo in Spain. 20 years of age, having a breakthrough season, 9 goals in La Liga. This guy has shown the potential, and according to reports, Arsenal are Gabri Viga's favourite team. His camp points out they value the Gunners' commitment towards young talent and the sporting project under Mikel Arteta. Arsenal, for their part, have only showed interest in him, and their leaders are waiting for the auction to take place. This guy is also a man in demand. Real Madrid reportedly have interest, but Arsenal are the club closest to his heart. There's no need to be surprised. Not only are we gargantuan, but we've become the premier destination for young players to go to. You see what Mikel Arteta has turned Arsenal into with young superstars like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli. Other players will take notice of that, and they will want to work alongside Arteta to up their games and take themselves to the next level. As we return to the Champions League, we will be able to attract a different level of player. But talking of number 8 profiles, you also have one available in the Premier League, and we are talking Chelsea's Mason Mount. According to reliable reporters Simon Johnson and Raphael Honigstein, Arsenal may well seek to strengthen their number 8 options in the summer, and will be well aware of Mount's pedigree, even if at present that is as far as their interest has extended. Liverpool are leading the chase, with both Manchester clubs and Spurs having scouted the player. When you have so many top teams chasing a player, there is a reason behind that. All the experts in the game, managers and players, seem to love him. This year has not been a season, but Chelsea have been awful. They have got an awful environment and their process is all over the place. They're about to reappoint Frank Lampard, but in the case of Mason Mount, there is definitely a player there, and under a top coach like Thomas Tuchel, this guy got double figures for goals and assists. The fact that he's only 24 years of age means he can still be moulded as a player, and when you've seen the players that Mikel Arteta has coached, turning the likes of Granit Xhaka into attacking midfielders, imagine what he could do with the player that has the fundamentals of a Mason Mount. I know it's going to be controversial and not every Arsenal fan will be convinced, but Arsenal have shown in the past they are willing to go against the grain. The likes of Aaron Ramsdale and Ben White weren't unanimous signings, but regardless, Arsenal signed them and the rest is history. Now let's talk about the wide forwards. Arsenal have some of the best in the business, and this year in terms of most successful dribbles in the Premier League, Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka are the top 2 in the league. Mikel Arteta's entire team is all about getting the ball to the wide forwards and letting them cause chaos. The scariest thing is these two are only getting warmed up, and next year in the Champions League I expect them to thrive at a different level. But Arsenal also have another star in the making coming through the academy, a left-footed right winger that's able to play as a wing-back, 18-year-old Armio Kuzia-Dubry, who according to Jack Wilshere reminds me a lot of Bukayo Saka. He needs to get better with decision making like Bukayo did, but he's definitely exciting. In some moments he is unplayable. You give him the ball and he can make things happen. You can set up a team and have a game plan, but when you've got individuals like that, you've got a chance. 16 goal contributions for the Arsenal academy this season. We've seen glimpses of this guy with the first team, especially in those friendlies before the return of the World Cup. A very impressive performance against Juventus. Even though Bukayo Saka is only 21 years of age, he's already become a role model, and with the likes of Kuzia-Dubry, they will see Bukayo as a pathway. In terms of wide forward signings, let's talk about Jesper Lindstrom. According to Sky Germany, Eintracht Frankfurt are ready to let Jesper Lindstrom leave this summer, with also one of the clubs who have already made contact about his signing. A realistic price for a move for Lindstrom would be 35 to 40 million euros. These reports linking Arsenal with a move for Jesper Lindstrom simply won't go away. He's also wanted by the likes of Liverpool, and even according to Florian Plettenberg, both Arsenal and Liverpool have made contact with Frankfurt over a move for the player in the summer. Even though they expect 50 million euros, 30 to 45 is more realistic, and the poker has started. He's been linked to Arsenal for a very long period of time, but my only concern about it, when I look at the likes of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli, I see explosive players. Lindstrom isn't as effective, averaging 1.3 dribbles per game at only a 37% success rate. But talking of wide forwards, what about the future of Reiss Nelson? According to Fabrizio Romano, he understands negotiations are currently underway between Arsenal and Reiss Nelson's representatives for a contract extension. Arteta would be happy to keep Reiss, while more European clubs are showing interest in a potential free transfer. Out of contract at the end of the season, Reiss Nelson has shown Arsenal fans this year this guy can produce some magical moments. Nelson has provided some game-changing moments. 4 appearances and 5 goal contributions. At 24, he's entering a very important part of his career. Even though Nelson hasn't always been available, he's always been willing to learn. That's the type of character that Mikel Arteta seems to love. And you only have to look at the clubs that want to sign him to an indication of his quality. The likes of Brighton, a team known for fantastic recruitment. Now let's talk about a centre forward called Wonder Kid. 18 years of age, Vitor Roque of Atlético Paranaense. According to reports in Brazil, Arsenal are in pole position to sign the Brazilian striker Vitor Roque, and Edu is leading the negotiations. Barcelona and Chelsea have called their interest due to economical and financial fair play problems. Vitor Roque is a man in demand, and the hype is definitely real. This guy's been compared to R9, and at 18 years of age, he's already made his first appearance for Brazil. Him and Endrick Felipe Moreira are the future of Brazilian football. Reports in Brazil have claimed Roque is keen to move to England. His agent has held informal talks in London with Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal are a team that always look to the future, and in Edu Gaspar they have a person that has the contacts in Brazil. But how often have Arsenal utilised them? Only a few times have we signed players straight out of Brazil. The likes of Marquinhos, Gabriel Martinelli and Pablo Mari. The market in Brazil has so much more potential, and I definitely feel Arsenal need to take more advantage. And reports have claimed that Mikel Arteta does want a bit more of a target man profile. And that's where you might have Juventus forward Dusan Vlahovic. According to journalist Peter Rogue, Dusan Vlahovic would be very interested in an Arsenal transfer. With Champions League football at the Emirates Stadium extremely likely, Arsenal are attracting elite players to sign for them next season. Dusan Vlahovic is a striker that Arsenal fans know too well, and we don't have the best of histories. Arsenal reportedly made offers, but the player wanted to stay in the Serie A, play for Juventus and play in the Champions League. But things have changed since then. Arsenal have evolved to a next level, and Juventus have only gotten worse. They are currently sat 7th in the Serie A, and the club seems all over the place. Vlahovic has gone from 24 goals last season to only 11 this year, and it now looks like he wants to leave Juventus in the summer. The profile of Dusan Vlahovic is definitely very interesting. This guy's a bit of a sharpshooter and has overperformed his XG this season. But that being said, Arsenal fans can't forget the transfer saga. Him choosing Juventus over Arsenal. The disrespect that was shown to us. The massive question is, would Arsenal fans be willing to accept the player at the Emirates Stadium? You've also got Dominic Calvert-Lewin. According to Peter Rook, Arsenal are monitoring the availability of this summer and are keeping tabs on whether a cut price deal could be made with Everton if they get relegated. Mikel Arteta is an admirer of Calvert-Lewin's abilities when fit. Calvert-Lewin is a controversial option, and this year has been massively injury prone, having scored 1 goal all season. But ultimately, Mikel Arteta has liked the player in the past, and there's no surprise why when he was fit and available in 2020-21. Under Carlo Ancelotti, 16 goals in the Premier League. The year before it was 13. Our levels have changed and we do have Gabriel Jesus. But Calvert-Lewin is a different profile. 6'3", this guy is more of a target man. I don't think Arsenal require a massive centre forward signing, but a plan B would suffice. If Everton were to go down, this guy is going to be available. He's going to be an opportunity for a cheaper price, and he would offer Arsenal something different. But Arsenal also have their eyes on Rasmus Hojlund of Atalanta. According to reports in Italy, Arsenal would be willing to offer more than 50 million euros in order to win the race for the Atalanta striker this summer. Another star in the making, only 20 years of age. Ultimately, Arsenal seem to have quite a few strikers on the radar. You've also got the reports of Victor Osimhen, Tammy Abraham. It seems that Mikel Arteta does want to add another centre forward. So let me know down below in the comments, who do you want that player to be? Moving on to the Arsenal team news, and starting off with what is happening with William Saliba. Now, before the game against Leeds, Mikel Arteta said, Saliba is progressing, but unfortunately still has some discomforts. Unavailable in that game and seen in the crowd supporting the team, Saliba is currently suffering with an injury to his back, and it seems like it's worse than initially expected. And according to Daniel Cutts, William Saliba is set to miss Arsenal's clash at Liverpool on Sunday, as he struggles with a back injury. He's not been able to train properly for the last few weeks, but he hopes to be back soon. The injury itself is not said to be season ending, and it seems like Arsenal are trying to find a way to manage the injury and get Saliba available as soon as possible. And even Mikel Arteta says, I am very hopeful that he will play again this season. Moving on to the other Arsenal news today, and let's now have a look into next season and our potential kits. Here is the all but confirmed new Arsenal home kit. We've seen it before with the gold outlining and the thunder stripes, and according to the Arse blog, Arsenal are expected to wear the new home shirts for the last game of the season against Wolves. That game could be so special for so many reasons. But now let's talk about the Arsenal away kit, and this one's controversial, and the design is a bit all over the place. And here is a reported design on Bukayo Saka. This shirt has caused as much chaos as Gabriel Jesus. So many fans don't know what to say about it, and personally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And even in terms of the third kit, it looks like Arsenal are going to have a base colour of green with navy blue sleeves, paying homage to their away kit of 1982-83. A green shirt always comes across as a bit of a goalkeeper's kit, and having that as a third kit, even if it is paying homage, it is still very different. What do you guys make of the potential home kit, away kit and third kit, and rank them from first to third? What a season Arsenal are having. Arsenal have accumulated more points than any team out of every top 5 league. With that points tally, according to Opta, Arsenal have a 100% chance of finishing in the top 4, and that means a return to the Champions League is around the corner with 9 games spare. Arsenal in general are on fire. Even in terms of the Arsenal women, they have reached the semi-finals of the Champions League after beating Bayern Munich 2-0. And even in terms of the Arsenal youth team, after Miles Lewis-Skelly scored in the 121st minute, they have reached the final of the FA Youth Cup. Every single aspect of Arsenal right now is shining, and it is beautiful. The so-called process is finally paying off, and Arsenal are on the brink of having one of the most successful seasons the club has ever had. What a time to be an Arsenal fan. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of his social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was all of today's latest Arsenal news, and as we approach a massive game this Sunday, as Arsenal fans we need to believe, because this team can do it. And I will see you next time. Take care, in a bit.